behalf of Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council, I welcome you to this land. We ask you to respect the land, respect each other, continue the good work, because I know you have great hearts.
The key theme of this year's social justice and native title reports, lateral violence. For those of you wondering what I mean by lateral violence, let me explain. Lateral violence comes from the behaviours that might include bullying, gossiping, jealousy, shaming, social exclusion, family feuding, and organisational conflict, which can and often does escalate into physical violence. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander identity then was shaped to suit the purposes of the colonisers. When we are consistently oppressed, we live with great fear and great anger, and we often turn on those who are closest to us. Let me be clear. Lateral violence is controversial and not an easy topic to talk about. It is one to which I've given long and considered thought about raising in this official capacity. Certainly, I thought when I first would do it, I was prepared to be accused of airing our dirty laundry in public. Confronting lateral violence will take courage, foresight and leadership. It is time now to shed those negative labels, those of the coloniser and those used by communities against each other. After all, we've been sold a negative stereotype for so long, we're all starting to believe this hype. It's time for us to take back control of our rich, resilient and varied Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander identity.
Some people, they wouldn't have heard about lateral violence before. Can you please give us some examples of what you think, and from your experience, lateral violence looks like in the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, particularly those that you've had a chance to work with?
Lateral violence impacts on our children. Aboriginal children every day are exposed to bullying and racism. Often the schoolyard becomes a battleground for our children. Lateral violence is not just an Aboriginal issue. What has been learnt by us must be unlearnt. We fight each other so much that government has an excuse not to work with us, not to engage with us, and to walk away from us.
And we basically got together and said, well, the only thing that's holding this claim up is the fact that we're all fighting. Everyone knew we had to stop fighting, but then left the meeting and kept on fighting. So we find that people can give a commitment at one level, but what we have to actually do is what Muriel talked about, was unlearning behaviours that colonialism has left with us. And I think it's unlearning those behaviours that we had to take the process of native title through on the community.
From your point of view, what role does government have in addressing lateral violence?
There are many parts of lateral violence, and some of them are of a criminal nature. And government, in whatever state, has a responsibility for community safety.
Muriel, both of these reports see cultural safety and cultural competence as an important tool to help deal with lateral violence. From your perspective, can you explain for us the concepts of cultural safety and cultural competence?
To me, the concept of cultural safety is about a place where you feel safe to identify, to be yourself, to say you're Aboriginal. It's about seeing the positives in Aboriginal people. It's about hearing the positives about your people rather than being portrayed constantly as negative.
But it needs to be non-Aboriginal people creating that safe place, but also a haven for Aboriginal people to meet and not be afraid to talk about what is happening in their community and do it without being judged.
I know that our PCYC does a fine job with our young ones and families. The work needs to be supported by continuous funding, not just this little bit and then it drops.
Are we all now going to be condemned because we disagree in our communities, and sometimes rightfully so?
So the task of implementing the challenges presented by our panellists and in Mick's Social Justice Report and Native Title Report don't just rest to government, they rest with us first.